everyone, it's Joyel and welcome back to my channel. So I decided to try some Christmas decorating this year. Now that, we bought a house last year, so I decided I would try and do some DIY projects. Of course, this is what I get for spending too much time on Pinterest. But of course, before we get started, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. And if you're the owner of a business, especially a Black-owned business, please send me an email at SharmaineJoyel@gmail.com. But let's get started. So we bought a house just over a year ago, and it is a 2-story, so we have these like awesome staircase railings that we've also just recently repainted. And after kind of spending some time on Pinterest, I thought it would be fun to try to do kind of like a DIY staircase garland. And so I collected a bunch of pictures and kind of settled on the traditional Christmas colors of red, green, gold, and white. So I made a list of things to go and get at the Dollar Tree. Unfortunately though, they had no garlands at the Dollar Tree, so I had to go over to Hobby Lobby. I don't know if it was too much of I don't think it was that bad, because apparently the garlands that you get from the Dollar Tree shed like a lot, and they just don't last very long. So even though I spent like way more than I had originally planned on the garlands, hopefully these being as expensive as they were, they will last a couple of years, and that was kind of my hope for this. I wasn't trying to do like a one and done type of decoration. I want to be able to reuse this for the next couple of years, right? So the materials that you'll need, at least for how I did it, is you'll need some garland that kind of represents a Christmas tree. You'll need zip ties, some white Christmas lights, preferably those for indoor. I think the outdoor ones get too hot. That's why you can't use them indoor. So make sure to get the indoor little white lights, some fake poinsettias, some ornaments, and then also I used some glittery tulle ribbon, just some like ribbon. Again, you can use any colors you want out of these materials. You can use sparkly or not sparkly, or red and green, or you can use blue and white, silver, whatever. But these were the materials that I chose to use. So the first step was going to be putting the garlands on. The garlands that I had bought at Hobby Lobby were 6 feet long, and I was able to buy 5 of them and cover the majority of my staircase railings. All I did was I laid them right on top of the staircase railings, and then I had to use 2 zip ties put together for it to be able to wrap completely around and securely. So go ahead and hook or connect 2 of the zip ties together, and then use that to secure the garlands down. I used probably about 4 zip tie loops, so 8 zip ties total, but like 4 loops total for each garland, just because they're super long. And I wanted them to not move, I don't want them shaking or rotating down the staircase. So just make sure those are secure. And I was also able to nicely drape these down the fronts of the stair railing, which I liked. At first I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to do that, but that was my intention, and I'm glad these were kind of long enough to do that. But also don't forget to secure it to the front of the stair railing as well, so that it doesn't move. After that is when I decided to wrap the Christmas lights around the garland. I think the Christmas lights are kind of like the perfect touch for this. I feel like it kind of brings in that Christmas glow you're kind of looking for in the decoration. I just looped this around the garland and the stair railing. I kind of went in between like every other stair railing, and again making sure that it wraps around the front of the stair railing around the garland that's there too. I wanted the entirety of the garland to be decorated. I didn't want to leave the front parts of it down. I also liked how it looked. I had to redo my long staircase because how I had originally wrapped it didn't go all the way down towards the front. And I was like, I thought it would be fine, but I was able to rewrap it in a way to where I could get it to match the length of the entire staircase. And it looks so much better. Just trust me. I mean, if yours aren't long enough, so be it. But to me, it was worth, wrapping and rewrapping a couple times until I could get it to reach down towards the front. Now, I did plug my lights in because I wanted to see how it looked. And also I wanted to be able to see exactly where the lights were lit up as I was putting on the rest of the decorations. So after plugging in the lights, this is when I went in with that kind of glittery, like tulle textured, like tinsel. I started with the gold first, And again, just wrap this around the stair railing like I did with the lights. I liked leaving it a little looser. When I had first tried this, I made it tighter and I just didn't like it. I kind of like the looser look of it personally. That's just me. I kind of like the fluffier look of it. I think it makes it look a little bit more whimsical and not so like tight and wrapped up. And then I went ahead and repeated that same step with the red, just kind of doing it in between where the gold was. And it looks so pretty. It was already like coming together. I was so excited for it at this point. And then lastly, we just kind of had to add some of the finishing touches. So I wanted to add some poinsettias on there. Poinsettias. I can't speak English. And I originally was gonna go with just all red flowers. But at like the last second, I decided to go ahead and grab some white ones, and I am very happy that I did that. I feel like the white adds, kind of ties in the white stripes that are on the bow ties that we add on the bottom of the stairs. And I feel like it makes it helps the other flowers, all of it kind of stand out a little bit. I liked adding that kind of splat, that little sprinkle of white in there. These came on like little chunks of flowers, and so I just used some like wire cutters and snipped each individual flower off. That way I could go in and put each flower in where I thought it would fit best. I kind of used where the zip ties were as a guiding point, kind of like a starting guiding point for where to place the flowers at, and I alternated. So if I put a red one here, then the next one would be white, and then red, then white, then red, then white. And I made sure to do this on both sides of the railings. I didn't want it to just all be on one side. I didn't want it to be too decoration heavy on one side of the staircase. I wanted it to kind of look like it was enveloping the entire thing. So if I put red on one side, I put white on the other side, and then, you know, alternate from there. I also went and added some of the flowers just on top of the staircase, so I was kind of starting by putting them on the sides, and then I kind of went in with some extra ones and put them on the very tops of the railings as well. Goodness. And then last but definitely not least, and what I think really, besides the Christmas lights, I feel like the ornaments really kind of brought all of this together, and I was very, very happy. You can use any size you want. I wanted to use bigger ornaments, but I kind of went shopping a little too late, and I just didn't want to spend too much money because the garlands already cost me like $150 total. So just get whatever size you think will work. But I went with red, green, and gold ornaments, shatterproof, of course, God forbid that someone knocks one of these off and now I'm like vacuuming up glass. But I also alternated the colors on this too, so like red, green, gold, then red, green, gold, and, you know, spaced them out to whatever kind of, you know, makes your eye happy. And I wasn't trying to make it too perfect. I tried to space them out pretty evenly, but it doesn't have to be exact. That's one of the things I liked about this garland, and kind of what I was looking for, is it didn't have to be super duper neat. But this was it. This is the first time I've ever done a garland of like any sort. Personally, I think it came out a lot better than I thought. Obviously, it's not gonna look like all the super duper extravagant ones you see on Pinterest, but I was pretty proud of myself. I didn't know how this was gonna go. I was honestly terrified when I started. And when I did do one small section, I did ask my husband how it looked, and he was like, it looks a little messy and maybe a little too busy. But once the whole staircase was done, he like loved it. So it worked out. It worked itself out. So I'm pretty happy with that. This will probably be my only Christmas themed video. I did not have as much time as I thought I would this month to do more Christmas themed videos, but I wanted to do something, especially since I really wanted to try this DIY project. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of it. You know, you can be honest. I'm open for constructive criticism. I hope that you enjoyed. Please have the best Christmas ever. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep blooming, and I'll see you guys after the new year.